friends, thank you so much for watching this video. My name is Denzalo, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about should I quit my job. So the reason why maybe you turned on to to this video is because you're finding yourself in a situation where you feel so miserable and you want to quit your job. So yeah, so I'm going to help you. Please note that I'm not a professional, so what I talk is what I've experienced in my life as well. Okay, so let's talk. Relax and let's actually talk about it. So before you actually make this huge decision about wanting to quit your job, you need to actually sit down and calculate and think about it. A lot of times we tend to make emotional decisions where we make a decision based on how we feel right now, and because we feel this way currently, or we've been feeling this way for a couple of months or a couple of years, then we just want to jump at it without actually sitting down and calculating it and seeing the actual consequences of what is going to happen if you decide to quit your job. So the Bible even gives us wisdom. They say that even before you build a house, you need to sit down and calculate the costs and see if you can actually finish this house that you're planning on building. And what I believe that God was actually trying to tell us in that verse is you need to make an informed decision. Don't just make a decision because of what you are feeling, or you're not feeling good about it. There's just something, it's like a feeling. But sit down and make an informed decision outside your feelings, so that whatever consequence that come with leaving your job, you can actually stand up and be brave, and it doesn't affect you that much, and you can stick to the decision that you made. So a lot of times, we tend to not like our jobs, uh, or we choose jobs because of our current situation, which is normal. We're not all from rich families, and I really don't think that everybody has the privilege of um, you know working for the sake of, or doing what they love because they can. Some people, the reality is, people actually choose jobs because of circumstances and they need the income. So yeah, so I just want to talk to you now about some of the questions you should be asking yourself before you actually make a decision to submit the resignation letter. So before you do that, the first thing I would advise you to do is to sit down, and ask yourself, what is the real reason uh, why you feel the way you are feeling right now? What is it that is causing you to feel miserable in your current job? Is it the culture there, that's making you feel miserable? Maybe the people are not treating you right. Maybe you have a micromanager. Maybe there's discrimination in the work. Maybe they're speaking in a language that you don't understand. Maybe there's a lot of racism in the work. I don't know what your reasons might be. But sit down and write it down and actually identify things that are causing you to feel the way that you are feeling right now, so that whatever decision you decide to make, you are basing it on facts. You're not basing it necessarily on emotions. So this is where emotional intelligence kicks in. Am I making this because it's an emotional decision? Because the dangers with emotions is that today this is how you feel, but tomorrow you'll feel totally different. So that is why I'm saying that sit down and identify, what is it that is making you so unhappy in your current role. After identifying it, the second thing that you need to do is to ask yourself, how can I actually make it better? Is the solution to it becoming better means that I need to leave the job? Or if I can just sit down and talk to my manager and let him know of the things that are making me unhappy, and giving him solutions of what it is that can make the work environment a little bit better or more comfortable for me to work. Because sometimes we find that, sometimes, things become so bad at work, they affect your performance negatively. But if you actually talk about it, and you speak to your manager and you tell your manager that this is making me happy, let's find solutions on how to make my work a little bit more bearable. So that's another thing that you can do. The third thing is, if your manager can't help you, what then do you do? You know, if he says, well, maybe your manager doesn't even like you, you know, and he wants you out. He wants you out of here as well. You know, what is it that you're gonna do? You know, if your manager can't help you, obviously the organizations has other platforms to make the situation better. You know, they've got like HR, or I know sometimes they've got your career counselors or that department. You can reach out to them. You can reach out to them and say that, you know what, I'm feeling unhappy. Is there a way for you to address? Remember, you've identified what's making you unhappy, you know, and you realize that you can't solve it on your own. You realize that your manager can't fix it. Can you help me? You know, and then if they cannot help you, or you find that there is no solution to this, before you actually jump out, um, the fourth thing that I need you to do is actually you can start thinking about what is it that you actually want to do. A lot of times people don't know what they want to do. So what they find themselves doing is they hate this job, right? And then they now go and they apply for another job. But you find that the other job is exactly the same as this job. So is it any better? Because it's exactly the same. And then they apply for another job. And then 3 months down the line, because they didn't identify what's actually making them sad, 2 months down the line, they regret it and they hate this one. And they start thinking that, this job is entirely not for me. I hate it. I'll change my career, or whatever they decide to do, you know. So figure out what it is that you actually want to do and how do you get there, you know, and how are you going to get to where you want to do. You know, make an informed, calculated decisions. Then if you maybe have decided that, you know what, I just want to change my career completely, the next thing that you need to do is you need to calculate the financial implications of your decision, which is so important, because at the end of the day, you don't want maybe the people that you've been taking care of to suffer because of the decision that you have made, you know, because there are financial implications to you leaving your current beautiful permanent job that you have. It might not necessarily be that beautiful, but there are financial consequences to that decision that you are making, you know. So what are the financial implications that will come with me leaving my job, or that will come with me changing my job? And you sit down and you calculate. If you were the type of person that was saving, you'll look at your savings and you'll say, okay, within my savings, is it enough for it to, maybe it's so bad at work, you have no other choice but to leave, you know, and you leave. But now, after leaving, what then? You know, because you are so used to living on this income, are your savings enough for you to not have a job for the next 6 months? Or does it mean that now that you don't have a job for the next 6 months, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna eat? You know, what's happening? What's happening? You know what I'm saying. So before you make such a major decision, sit down and calculate um, everything, you know, so that you can make an informed decision. I really believe in people making informed decisions. I'm not a spontaneous person. I don't think somebody should wake up today and sit down on their desk and type it and leave out they go without a plan. You need to sit down and actually calculate what you want to do and have a plan, you know, be wise, you know, have wisdom. And God has given us, you know, wisdom. You know, you need to be wise when you make certain decisions. And the thing is, when you are feeling the way that you are feeling, you need to address it as quickly as possible. Because another thing is that time is running out, you know. Unlike you now staying in that job where you are feeling so miserable, and you know, every day you are actually wasting time, you're getting older and you're not doing anything about it. So rather than you go, instead of staying in a job that you hate, go and fix it and address the situation and make an informed decision about what are you going to do about how you feel, so that you can feel a little bit better, so that you can address that issue. You know, sometimes people don't address issues, and because they don't address issues, they become bigger and bigger and bigger. And when they are too big to address, they end up in hospital, they become depressed because the situation was just too big. So that is how I can actually help you in making that decision of should you quit your job. uh, Decide, identify what it is that's making you unhappy, find other ways of resolving it, and make an informed decision. Don't forget the financial risk that comes with you actually quitting your job. So yeah, so those are some of the tips that I can give you. Please note that I am not a professional, so everything that I speak about here is based on what I would have done if I was in that particular situation. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you thought that this video was insightful, please do give it a thumbs up and